So today I'm going to show you how I made this picnic style condiment and cutlery holder as an easy DIY project for you. Okay, so for this project, once again, material was extremely simple. What I've got here is basically a piece of offcut. This is a leftover piece of plywood. This is about 19 millimeter, about 3/4 of an inch. I've got some, basically I used some offcut pieces of reclaimed wood. This is pieces of pallet wood, and I can't remember what the other one is for, but it's pieces of leftover wood. And then furthermore, I've got some pieces of offcuts of this very thin plywood as well. This is about 6 millimeter plywood, I think, thickness more or less. And that is basically the material that I've used. Now, in order to make this material work for the project, I've cut this piece of plywood, a thick one, according to size. And on the other side, if you can see that, I've already marked the holes for the bottles that's supposed to fit in here. We've got two bigger ones and two smaller ones, depending on the size of the bottles you want to use. Now, those longer pieces of offcut wood, I have basically ripped them down. Two of them I've ripped into thinner pieces, ripped it down the middle, so it looks like that basically. We'll come to what those are for in a minute. I've still got the pieces of offcut thin plywood. Also, some of those other plywoods, I've made 4 cuts of these with an angle of 30 degrees on each side, obviously 30 degrees like so. So if they would to stand up straight, that would be a 60-degree angle. So I've got 4 of those as well. I've got 2 other pieces of here, also of the offcut wood, normal straight pieces, more or less the same size as those. More offcuts, 2 square pieces, same length as the main piece of wood over here. Another longer one, same length as this one. And that is basically it. So how is this going to work, or what is the main idea here? So this part, the main piece, I'm obviously going to cut out the holes. I'm using various hole saws. I've got this one for the bigger holes. If you don't have a normal hole saw, but whatever you've got, you only need to cut the hole saws, whichever tools you've got for the job. And then what I'm going to do next, use these 2 pieces of wood. They are going to be put underneath the big piece like so. They're going to be glued into place like so. You can also put in some brad nails from the top, or some screws and some wood glue to keep it in place. From the side you'll see it looks like that. And then these angled pieces I'm going to put next to each other. The idea is they're going to look like that. This is going to be the legs. They're going to fit on the side like so, on either sides, with the flat piece top parts being on top like that. That's going to be one on each side, if you can get the idea of that. And then if these are going to stand either side like that, let's put them down here, for example, like that. The other 2 would be on the other side, like so. That would be the idea. And then these 2 pieces of square wood would then be joined on the inside of these, like so. Obviously they would be glued or screwed in place. Let's just use the one, for example, on the inside like that. And once they are in place, these ripped pieces of wood, or these ripped parts of wood, are going to go on top of them on either side, one this side, one that side. And that is going to be like the bench part of this whole picnic table. And once that is in place, or beforehand even, I'm going to rip the desired length of this thin offcut wood, and I'm going to make a border for these bench parts like so, which is going to be like a trough on each side, or a little bowl if you want to call it that. So that I'm going to cut, that is then going to be on either side. Obviously the table part is going to be on top. And then down in the middle, from side to side, this big part is going to be like so. That is going to be the bottom side for the big bottles that's going to go through the holes to rest upon. And in the middle of that one, I'm going to put a smaller one like so. And this is going to be a resting part for the smaller spice pieces that you're going to use or want to use, for them to rest on. So this will all be resting like so, if that makes sense. So now that we've got a rough idea, let me first start by drilling the holes. And once the holes are drilled, then I can start attaching pieces of wood, and this would make a lot more sense, and this vision would be a lot clearer. Okay, so this is basically the end result of all the steps you just saw in the video. So like you saw, I've assembled all the different pieces of this, starting from the top, working my way down, and starting from the base here, or the top end. I put some grooves in after I drilled the holes for some decorative purposes to give it a bit of character. The screws on the visible screws on top, I have filled the holes with some wood filler and sanded it down afterwards. I've attached everything else with screws and with wood glue. So this is a fairly sturdy design. You can really feel that it's not going to give way under any weight or pressure or anything like that. But then again, it's not going to be carrying that much weight. I haven't obviously not decorated this in any way yet. The possibilities are endless. You can paint this, you can stain it. What I'm considering is perhaps giving it a bit of a burn effect with some clear coat over that. And that is most probably the route I'm going to go with. So we'll see that in probably the profile picture or in the thumbnail. So let's see how this works in the end. So the smaller hole obviously were made for some condiments. Let's take some basic salt and pepper, put it in there, with resting on the support at the bottom, steady, not going anywhere. The holes are a slight bit bigger should you have somewhat bigger containers. For the bigger holes, I've got some tomato sauce or ketchup. Slips nice and comfortable into the holes like so. Once again, the holes are slightly bigger, so most condiment containers will fit in there quite easily. And the side pieces, once again, for the cutlery, we've got some serviettes over here, some knives and forks. If you do not use knives and forks, obviously you can just put the loose cutlery in there, knives, fork, knives, spoons, whatever you wish. And once again, this is completely portable. You can pick it up, easily carry it around, put it down, and it's going to stand right there where you put it, not going to move at all. Now, the nice thing about this is, no matter how you put it down, let's put it on a level surface, this will look nicely decorative on your picnic table, on your lunch table, dinner table, wherever you prefer. And it does give a nice aesthetic look to it, nice and portable. You don't have to carry all the loose things around. You can take this to your kitchen or to your pantry, wherever, fill it up, bring it to the table. Much easier. So if you do like this video and you want to see more of these projects, be sure to like the video and also consider subscribing if you have not done so yet. So until next time, thank you very much, guys.